Alright. Hello and welcome back to another episode of me playing the old Minecraft here. We are in the Playland world and we're at our castle location. A little bit of work has been done. I'm not sure if I showed this wall off last time, if that was even built last time, but got that wall going on there. We've also got this new tower that I'm working on, and it is a completely different style, and that is because I'm trying to figure out just sort of a general shape that I want for it. And then I'm going to go back and make it into more of the original style here. And that is for mainly, it's really difficult to build from the ground up. And in that sort of style that we've got going on through the rest of the build here, and be able to do that in this sort of manner here, and then get the shape and everything else that you want going on. So that's sort of the main reason. What I ended up doing was started to build it here a little bit and wasn't really satisfied with it, and I wasn't really sure how I could make it look any different than just sort of a square, which is really what these sort of two towers, they're just basically squares here. Not that it's necessarily a bad look or doesn't fit in, but I want different sort of shapes throughout the whole castle here, different heights and all that kind of stuff. So I decided to go ahead and build that. And I'm liking the way the shape is looking. So overall, I like the sort of shape that we've got going on. I'm fairly satisfied with the height as well. And there's a wood block up there, and that was because I was messing around with, grab some ender pearls, messing around with trying to put some sort of a roof on there, and I'm still undecided on how exactly I want to do that. So let's do that in the here and in the now and sort of figure out what we are liking. So we've got a little bit of scaffolding there to get up. We'll have to make sure to tear that down. Also done a little bit of enchanting work. We've got now efficiency 5, efficiency 4, that one hasn't changed, but this one's also efficiency 5, and now we've got power 5 on this one too, so that is pretty much a one-shot kill bow, which is really cool. Let's go ahead and tear down the wood. I think this may not be a wood-roofed situation. I think it may end up being more along the lines of what we've got going here with our sort of capper that we've got going on. So what I want to do is square it off a little bit and then try that cap and see if we like it. I want to raise it up at least one from here. So we're going to square it off and then build it up one more time. And then we're going to go ahead and have to get rid of that. Hope I've got enough cobble with me. So we're going to bring it up one more after that. And of course, I've got a little bit left. That should be enough. And then we'll do the design that we've sort of got going on. Let's bring it up one. We'll go down and see if we like the way that looks. Sort of the biggest problem in Minecraft is you never know how things are going to look from afar when you're building them. So there's a lot of sort of just going back and forth and trying to figure all of that out. I have the next upcoming week off. It is Thanksgiving break week, whatever that is called. And so I've got that off from school, although on Monday I will be working because it's not a holiday there. So I will gladly work and make money then. So I have a little bit of a goal for myself. I want to put out at least one video a day. One video a day here for the next week, just to see if it is something that I can do and like to do and sort of have the mental fortitude. Dang it, I knew this was going to end up happening. What can we do here? Let's get rid of this one, and then let's see what we can do. So let's just do all the corners first. Let's do that, and then we can figure out our block situation from there. Could always go out one further, and that should somewhat fix the problem. But we could do this as well. Just make it too wide there. Excuse me, I had a little bit of a cough for some reason. A bug in the old throat, I suppose. That could work. Let's jump down, see what we can see, and see if we even like the way that this is looking. Typically, a lot of castles that people make end up having these sort of wooden roof type situations, and I sort of want to go against that. I don't necessarily want to just copy that and do the exact same thing that a lot of other people end up doing. I want to sort of do my own thing. It's not terrible. It's not terrible. I think it'll look better once we've transitioned it over more towards that style. I'm still unsure about the height. Do I like the height of it? I think I do. Maybe we can have a sister tower a few blocks over. It's basically the same sort of a thing, and then we can maybe do another little bridge situation, which I still need to go and fix the bridge right there, but we can worry about that another day. So let's see if we can make it up there. Awesome. So yeah, I want to see if I have just sort of the energy, the ability, and the whatever else to even want to do, multiple videos a week, because previously when I've sort of done more than one video, I end up getting burnt out and I don't do anything for a week. So we're going to see if that is something that is going to continue, if that's something maybe not. Of course, if I was actually getting paid for doing any of this kind of stuff, it would be a lot more incentive, right? But I just want to see if it's something feasible, I suppose. So this one actually does have a center because it's off. We're a little bit off kilter there because it's not a symmetrical tower, which is fine because that is the style that we're going for. We're not going for super symmetry, if you will, although that is something completely different, right? That's a physics term. Let's go ahead and throw on these ones and the back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a 6. And then go ahead and do that. And it's getting nighttime, so we can take a look at how everything looks at night and if there's any improvements that we want to make. Like, it looks... Come on. It looks pretty dark over there, so let's head over there and let's put in a little bit of lighting. Does this overhang? Okay, it does. Out. Okay. So let's put in a little bit of sort of hidden lighting in the back here. I like the idea of doing the hidden lighting. Do you want to go up one? Yeah, let's go up one. Maybe make it look a little bit higher up there. Okay, so we've got that nice and lit up. Let's take a look at how things are looking at nighttime. Okay, so obviously over here we're missing a lot of light because this one has a lot of open spaces, open faces to it. So it allows glowstone on the inside to shine through. We've got a little bit of that happening down there, but not so much up there. Let's see if maybe we can just throw a couple torches on the side, and if that'll help things, like for example here. And let's see if we can make our way up without destroying the landscape too terribly. Let's go ahead and light up the top as well, because it looked quite dark from the bottom. Oh, falling. And boop. Okay, good. And we'll ender pearl out. Excuse me again. I don't know why. I've got a little bit of a cough going on here, and it's quite annoying because I don't feel like coughing. That's better. That looks better there. So we're still a little bit iffy there in the middle, but for the most part, things are starting to look pretty good lit up. And I think that top is going to look pretty good when we attach the new style to it. So we're going to incorporate the wood design and some half slab design as well throughout. But I think that's going to look pretty good as a tower. Let's go ahead and take a little nap here and maybe get started on that whole process there. So we're going to need a ton of dirt, which we don't have a lot of here. I named the horse. I don't know if I have mentioned that yet, but we've got our faithful steed here. So that's our faithful steed, Horsey. That should be enough of those. Oh, actually, I want those back, and I didn't want to put those in there. I wanted to put them out of the old hotbar. Okay, we got a couple stacks of dirt. That should be enough. Let's go ahead and put some of that excess wood away here that we don't need now that we're not going to be doing that sort of style, wood roof style thing up on the top. So let's see what we can do here. Right now, this is really, really plain and flat looking, and I don't like it. I think it looks really boring and kind of lame. So what can we do? The first thing that I was thinking is that we could do something here on the corners, maybe we can continue the theme of placing one of these guys every other, and that can add a little bit of depth. Although that one is placed in the wrong spot. Can we? How am I going to do that? Well, what if we do that and then break that and then replace it? Kind of a pain to work with the half slabs every once in a while, but there we go. So that will add a little bit of see-through depth, which I like. So let's repeat that on the other side as well. 3, 4. And that's going to be a pain, isn't it? Shouldn't be terrible, right? We're doing down slabs. Again, we'll have to do our little trick there. And this efficiency 5 pick is awesome. It is just super quick. Okay, so that's looking better, but now I think that it's a little bit too matchy here, and I don't necessarily want those textures to be connecting. So let's try maybe something. Oops, I wanted that to be a down or up facing rather. Boop. There we go. And then maybe something like that and then that. How does that look? It's better. It gives us a little bit of a separation there, although it still looks a little bit flat. A little bit flat to me. I'm thinking we're going to need something like, see over here, we've got a texture that sort of pops out here, and then our main sort of wall texture is sunken in from that. And then we've got that again sticking out a little bit, although we did skip it on the top there because I thought it was going to be a little bit too repeaty, if you will. To do that, I think we're going to have to have some sort of like wooden texture across the top, possibly. It's going to have to be connecting in some way. 2, 3, 4. So let's take this row out and maybe do wood. I hear you. Zombie, but you are hiding in a cave like the cowardly zombie that you are. Okay. We've got that. We don't have wood. Why would I bring wood? All right, let's go grab some wood. And we're going to go with our dark oak because that is sort of the theme that we're going with, right? That's not at all. So I've got on my server going on, this is the dark oak, right? Yeah. I've got a little project going on there. That'll be one of the videos coming up probably tomorrow. And I'm doing a similar style, sort of a medieval themed castle type of a project. And so, oops, that was smart. And I've got chests, of course, and everything set up just like that, but they are sort of opposite of each other, and I've been playing on there a bit more than I have on here. So let's do something like that, and then we'll get rid of those. Does efficiency still work on? No, so you still have to have the proper. Used to be back in the day, anything with efficiency on it was quicker, so you could just use that. So if you had an efficiency 5, anything, it would be a lot quicker than just using a regular thing. Can't reach it from here, so that's okay. We can deal with that and figure that out after. Let's try. So we're gonna have a slab here, so let's do one up here, and we're just gonna do a little bit of a pattern like that. Although, because we're at weird numbers, it's a little bit off. I don't know if I necessarily am a fan of that. Let's try. So that's the wrong block, but the right place. Let's try it with the right block in the right place. There we go. Try that again. Okay. And we'll go over here, do the same thing, and then see how that looks. And for me, this is really my sort of style of building that I do and I like to do. So let's get rid of all of this and step back. I know a lot of people like to do the whole creative thing, and I know I've talked about that before, but I sort of like my builds to be a little bit less planned, not so organic, or I guess I said that completely wrong. I prefer them to be a little bit more organic and less planned, just because I think it just ends up taking twice as much time, number one. But number two, it really sort of takes away, and when you're doing something really complex like this, it's really difficult to replicate, and not just difficult to replicate, but to replicate well, and to be able to come back from a creative world and basically do the same thing is kind of a tall order in a lot of cases. So I try to not do a lot of building in the creative, which may in the long run it may end up costing me more in terms of time. It may not. I don't know. Some people feel that it does. Some people feel that it doesn't. So I feel like this is definitely within the style. I fear if it's a little bit matchy though, and if we're sort of far away, we're not gonna see. Not really gonna. No, it does. It definitely sticks out. You can definitely see it at different angles, and I think once we get the rest of it sort of more in line with the style that we're going with, I think it'll end up looking better. So let's just go ahead and replicate it again over here. Get rid of all of that stuff. And so because our tower, oops, I almost mined a block there. Because our tower is not symmetrical, it's wider here than it is sort of deeper or deep on this side. Our patterns are a little bit different, but I like that because then it makes everything look a little bit different depending on how exactly you're looking at it. So let's go ahead. We've got a block like that, a block like that, and then we've got our wood block right up here. Okay, so let's go ahead and scaffold up. Do apologize if you hear that creaking. That is the upstairs neighbors walking around a little bit. We've got creaky floors. They're a little bit quieter now, so that's why I chose now to start recording as opposed to earlier when the kids were running and thumping around like they do, like kids are one to do, or are kids to do. Okay, so let's go ahead and place our slabs. That's the word. There, and that should be. Oh, that's that efficiency 5 for you. Can be a little bit quick at times. Okay, and let's see. So I think that's okay for a base. Let's go ahead and put on these guys, the stone brick slabs. And so we're starting at the bottom here. Let's go ahead and replicate that. Top, bottom, top. And okay, so I think that's definitely an improvement from what I had. We can definitely see there's a lot of the orange. Something is funny here. No? Yes. What's going on? We've got that guy is facing the wrong way. That's what it is, right? What do we have here? What even is that block? That's an upside down stair. Upside down stair. That block is facing the wrong way? What's going on? So we've got our stair here and our stair here. I think it's because maybe this... See, these are two different blocks is the problem that are making that shape. And if I flip one, is that going to fix the problem? No. Oh well, again, symmetry is not the most important thing, right? So I think that's what this tower is going to end up looking like. We're going to just continue with our theme, and then we've got just sort of the general shape going on there that I am a fan of. And where does that dark wood start? Does it start right where that cobblestone is? It starts below it, so it should be here. A boop, boop, and a boop. Great. Wonderful things are being done here. Let's go ahead and add these guys on. We're just going to have room for 2 because we just run into the wall there, but that's fine because then it looks like it's, a real integral part there of the actual structure. And in terms of these guys, these sort of vertical column things, I'm not exactly sure what is going to be done there in terms of our sort of theme that we've got going on. Maybe we'll do our smooth half slabs here. Maybe that's what these guys will end up being. I'm not sure. But this episode is just flying by here. We're at 20 minutes, and I'd like to keep things shorter. as I've stated the last couple of videos. So, as the sun sets, I will cue that music, and we'll just take one last little look here at our tower. And I think it's really starting to come along. And I think once we start building off in that direction, it's gonna feel even better. So, until next time, I'll see you next time.